Hey guys, how's it going? Tmanplays here with another Warno Ranked game for you today. And today we're going to be playing as the 7th versus the 4th Machutzen. And we're actually playing against Integer today. And this is the first time I've ever played Integer. So I know he's known for being quite a sneaky player. So with some of my deployment decisions, we're going to be trying to make sure he just doesn't get anything behind our lines. Another big important place that I want to keep is this area, going fairly light on the attack on the right and sending quite a few units to the left hand side here to capture this area. So right off the bat, see some helicopters coming in, and that's going to be a problem for these special AFCLAR as our AA is still approaching from the rear. And on the left side, we see a bunch of SB G9 trucks, but the special AFCLAR there should be able to take care of most of those. So we unload one early, take the next two up a little closer. And we're going to start trying to get shots on target on these helicopters. I also order a HE bomber, retarget to the next helicopter as that one was pretty much dead. And we do take out the one as well as the other. So great job of dealing with the airplay, but our infantry position is now pretty weak in this area. On the left, you can see Special AFCLAR dealing with the SPG-9s quite nicely. MiG-29 flying over the line, trying to go for my bomber, but we already evacuated that. I had a bit of mishap with my CV here. I accidentally routed it this way and then through Charlie, and it didn't have enough time to actually capture Bravo. So now the way you want to do that is you want to actually route it through the middle and then to the left if you're going to do the 1 CV, because this road won't allow it enough time to capture it if it's one of these fast CVs. So we see all my Strelas getting some nice hits on the MiG-29. Unfortunately, not enough to take that out. And we're just kind of scouting with our SPW-70s, seeing what kind of infantry he has here, and slowly moving up our recon, as well as a recon UAZ on the right. So we spot the FS Jaeger metas. Gonna move the Pioneer to try and engage that, but then I noticed they're actually out of satchel charges. So what I'm gonna do instead is we already purchased a bomber. Why not use it? And we're just gonna try and destroy these special forces. Bombs away, gets destroyed, and we evacuate our bomber since we know he has the MiG-29. On the left side, our Conqueror's by, doing a nice job just shutting him down from getting infantry into this area. So pretty much now we have full control here, and I'm going to start exploiting that with some units up the side. Integer, though, does have a nice point lead, as I haven't captured Bravo, Foxtrot, or the center yet. So we will have to get a CV in shortly for these, and you'll see I already have a CV that's heading straight to Bravo, with then plans to push up to Foxtrot and then contest the center. So we see FS Jaeger, or FS Metis approaching, so we're going to start pulling back our Strelas and move up our infantry so that we can kind of catch it out in the open here. SPG-9 doing a lot of damage to my Machutzen, so we're just going to pull that back and then just be defensive with our Pioneer squad here until we can get some more reinforcements to this area, which will arrive pretty soon as the Machutzen are approaching. So catching out this FS Jaeger Metis in the open. Gonna go ahead and pull back our Conquerors just in case it does survive. And I'm gonna move across one of these SPW-70s just to make sure that we do finish this guy off before he can get into the building. Another Mi-8 rocket coming up. That's a slight issue, as I only have the one Strela here, but I do have supply that will replenish his Strelas pretty soon. And on the right, destroyed another SPG-9 truck, just with our defensive positioning. Basically, I'm trying to stabilize this area first, so that then I can focus over here. And you'll see, since we will capture this objective now, we're just going to rush our CV into Foxtrot, because I know he doesn't really have anything in this area, at least not that I know of. So I feel pretty comfortable just sending him in there. And my other CV is going to be moving to the center instead, since this area is uncontested. That way we don't need to buy another CV or reroute this guy after we capture Foxtrot. So we do see some infantry now approaching, so we're going to eventually push up these Machschützen to help contest that. And on the right side, CV gets sniped by an SPG-9 that snuck through my line. So I didn't notice this, but in classic integer style, he has managed to get a unit behind my line. So I spotted the coup here. Just going to target that with the bomber, try and take out his AA. Not sure if I did kill that or not, but either way, bomber gets shot down. And now we're just slowly stabilizing this area. I did notice that my CV got sniped here. So we will put some attention over here in the near future. But on the left side, things are looking great. No real problems here. I do have just some T-72s moving to defensive positions, just in case he does decide to throw some resources on that side. But we've definitely stabilized our position now. I have supply that can resupply the satchel charges, as well as heal up the Machschützen. And we're kind of just moving around our Strela, trying to find shots on this Mi-8T. And our opponent captures the objective here. So integer with a nice 500-point lead in the first 7 minutes of the game. So basically, that's going to force my hand to have to push him in order to really start ticking up some points, as he does have a pretty nice advantage. So Strela here, moving across, going to find a nice hit on an Mi-8. And bring up some more Strelas, as well as a Cube. Just have a little bit more AA in this area. We see Pioneer squad here with the satchel charges. Going to be doing some nice work on the Machschützen. And SPW-70s scouting for these T-55s. But don't really spot what hit me there. Some type of SPG-9 infantry squad or SPG-9 truck. So just going to pull that back for now until I feel comfortable pushing these guys up. A lot of reinforcements coming in on the right. Thankfully, our recon here has a really nice position to spot that. And I did bring around a recon helicopter to spot what was behind my line. Sure enough, with the recon helicopter, we're going to be able to get the Conquerors on target and destroy that. So now we can feel somewhat comfortable again, bringing in another CV for this objective. And we're just slowly trying to push out all this infantry that's in this little town area. So I spot these units. I have this guy on return fire, so we're not going to fire. And still nothing on the left. Center, pretty solid hold. Conqueror's opening up on some supply. Not going to get the hit, though. And it looks like these two units were Iglas. So we're going to be forced to retreat our recon there. Buying some T-72s to really take control of this side before I eventually push into here. MiG-29 coming in for the helicopter. Goes for the recon instead, but does miss because he lost visual there. And pushing up the helicopter because I already have T-72M support. Fortunately for me, though, gonna get a side shot there from a Conquerors and then a spalling crit. So T-72M dies instantly from that. Very unfortunate. And we see the other Conquerors coming in. Have no visual of what's hitting it, so we're just gonna have to smoke and pull that back. So that's gonna delay this pushed by quite a bit, as we did lose a helicopter and a T-72M and didn't really get anything in return. In the middle, slowly pushing up some infantry now, just to see what he has in this area, because I do feel like I have quite a sizable force here now. And my infantry on this side is going to spot his recon moving up, as well as I also have recon here, which is actually probably what's spotting this. Either way, though, both of these units will be able to see anything that he brings down this road. So now we're showing our hand to fully push him out of this area. Finally have moved up my TO-55s. And these are going to be doing some very good work against these Panzerjägers. So we see the flamer. That's no problem for our SPW-70. And we're just going to move around our Strelas to try and get shots on this helicopter. But Integer doing a really nice job of keeping this low to the ground. He does raise it there, though, which is going to allow all my Strelas to open up. We all missed, though. So got to wait for the second volley here, as we do get a hit there. And got to wait for the third volley. Sure enough, the guy who hit the first one hits the second. So down with the Mi-8 there. Purchased a special aufklärer to help push this side. Our recon UAZ did go down. But now with our T-72M advantage, we're just going to take over this area. I do have to be careful still of the Conquerors unit here. So now that our infantry is moving up, just supporting it with the TO-55s. Slowly getting rid of this infantry. And we see the Conquerors opening up. Just smoke this T-72M and pull them all the way back. Wait for our special aufklärer to get some vision on that. So you can see on the left, I'm using my advantage here to push up a T-72. That way, if he tries to sneak around this area, we can have something to shoot his units. And I'm bringing in another special aufklärer here that I can just kind of run up to these buildings to try and spot that Conquerors unit that's becoming a real thorn in my side. T-72s there are going to be getting a nice kill on some supply. And we have another Kub showing up to this side just to help protect some of these T-72s, as he has been using quite a lot of air assets. So the Strelas here also going to help get rid of any helicopters that he throws our direction. As here comes another plane. Unfortunately, he does have some type of recon that can spot this, so that my special aufklärer can't see. So we really need to figure out where that recon is so that our T-72Ms don't just get picked off that easily. That's also why we definitely need the Kub. Lose another Strela there to the Conquerors, but we finally spot it with one of the aufklärers. And sure enough, he has some units on my side here, so we're immediately going to pull back these T-72s. Because we're not sure what all's here. Could have some Panzerjäger or something that he might try and sneak my direction. So just going to sit him in the open for now until we figure out what these units actually are. And we see Integer using a lot of mortar fire to really kind of suppress my units in this area. So our solution to that, eventually, we haven't purchased it yet, but we're going to buy Gavetska? I'm not sure what it's called, but some type of artillery piece, 180 points. Just going to put it on counter battery. Try and deal with all these mortars that are just pestering my units. So we see another AT rocket coming in. thankfully that one actually misses, and our Cube able to get a nice hit. Don't get the finishing blow though, and we're bringing up another Mi2 just to spot what all he had to the side of my line there. You see the mortars just pestering my TO-55s, and over time those will kill it, so we don't want to allow those to keep firing, especially since he has a bunch of them on the field. And we see it's just a bunch of machine gun squads over here, so not too afraid with my tanks. On this side, purchasing some more T-72s just to protect my CV in this direction, as he does have some infantry in this area. And we actually spot the command infantry, so T-72 going to be doing a nice job on that. And these other T-72s are going to start pushing into this tree line. As you can see, I also brought up a lot of mod shoots now in order to take over this area. Sure enough, though, this pesky Conquerors unit somehow still alive, as I haven't been able to kill it yet. Still causing me a lot of issues getting paid its value well over. But once we finally get into this building, both the FS Jägerführer and the Conquerors unit is going to go down. And you can see just a bunch of BMP-1s, so T-72M just going to go straight for those. We did bring up some resupply for our Cube, and I still haven't purchased the artillery piece, so I guess that was a little bit later in the game. But now that we have this side and this side, we're able to tick at a nice +2. And we're about halfway through the game at this point, so that's going to allow us to at least start catching up with him. I do have now a comfortable foothold here. This has been pretty comfortable since the 2-minute mark. And our middle position is starting to be pushed back with all this infantry here. So I'm just going to go back to a defensive stance, make sure I stabilize this area, and then refocus on the middle. So I did see a large clump of infantry in this area. Just gonna bomb in that general direction, try and do as much damage as possible. And we have some Pioneer Flamers coming up that'll really do a nice job against these FS Jaeger. On this side, we now have good vision down the road due to our special Aufklärers, as well as the Aufklärer here. So that's going to allow us to basically shut down this road as long as we have the tanks. Another HE bomber coming in for the Special Forces FS Jaeger is going to be able to destroy those. And now we're just pushing with our SPW-70s to kind of see what damage we actually did, as our HE bomber is going to be able to escape there. Get a nice hit on the MiG-29 with the Cube. But sure enough, he still has some FS Jaeger here. You can see my T-72 that I snuck in the rear is able to hit these units in the open, which is nice. Unfortunately, though, it does get spotted by this Mi-8MT, so it is going to take a lot of damage from that. As our Flamer units starting to get put in good positions. Gonna do a lot of damage to this FS Jaeger with that flamethrower. T-72 does survive from the Mi-8, but cluster plane is gonna come in for that and destroy it. Cube trying to hit that, does get the hit. Fortunately, doesn't get the kill. And we're just trying to hold off all this infantry because I feel like if we can repel this push, we can really counter push them and cause some issues. I'm still feeling pretty comfortable on the right side. No real issues here. And I'm just slowly moving up some infantry in the middle, trying to get rid of these BMP ones. TO-55 gonna get a nice shot there. See, just the recon here is allowing me to see what all he's preparing for, so it allows me plenty of time to call in reinforcements that I need to repel him. So T-72M, gonna start getting shots on all these PT-76s. And finally, the Gavodstika is what we purchased to basically counter battery all these mortars. So it's just going to fire upon them whenever they fire. Maybe force them to micro that so they don't fire as much, because you can see they have been doing quite a lot of damage to my infantry. And that's really not going to allow me to win these infantry fights as long as his mortars are up and firing like that. But Integer is pushing really hard on this right side now. And we got to be really careful with this T-72M because multiple firing angles are happening. So got to be really careful not to let that get hit in the side. So we are going to smoke, kind of pull him back, and then try and just to engage these PT-76s. So you'll see now we're just going to use the smoke as kind of a wall against this T-55. So slowly pushing him up, trying to find just the right angle, as we're going to spot the first one, be able to destroy that. And now we just got to deal with a lot of infantry. AT plane flying over all my Strelas, no problem. Strelas, though, I still think are a really useful unit with 40% accuracy. They're only 15 points, so you can just kind of scatter these guys around and just have a really good time. Even if they do miss every now and then, you're bound to at least get a hit eventually, and they'll definitely pay for themselves well over if you can destroy a helicopter or two. So holding off all this infantry and seeing that this is just a medicine, a flamer, we're actually just going to move up our T-72M, because with minimal range, this won't be able to hit my T-72. And with my other T-72 that was just kind of sitting over here, I'm going to actually push him behind Integer's line here, maybe catch out some of his armor that's a little exposed. So trying to target this T-55 because I know he has the long range advantage, but he is going to be smart and actually pull that back. So I'm just going to pull back my tank as well. And sure enough, we see cluster. So going to smoke and then try and move him forward. Thankfully, he does hit behind my command tank there. But we're not able to destroy that. Another cluster coming in for this other T-72 is going to be able to take that out. And our AA not doing the greatest job at finishing off these cluster planes, as yet another one survives. Trying to finish him off with the MiG-23. Get one more missile, but he is going to be able to escape. So having a real unfortunate time trying to finish his air. But at this stage of the game, we now have eclipsed him at 600 points to 543. We do need at least 100 points more to be able to get the win, but it looks like we will get there at this point. Still 15 minutes left, though. Plenty of time for him to do something. But I am feeling very comfortable with our position. Sending this MiG-23 over the enemy line to try and just take out an AT plane, as I've been having very bad luck. Finally, we get a kill, and sure enough, 2 cubes hit my plane instantaneously and take that out. But we at least got his AT plane in return, so not a terrible trade. And now we have enough points to be able to get the win. So you can see my Gavodstika just kind of continuously firing on all these mortar positions, actually doing a fair amount of damage. And you can see the mortars have pretty much gone silent now at this stage. So now I'm doing my big infantry assault. Do still have to deal with this Mi-8 though. But basically soaking all the rockets with the BMP-1s, forcing him to kind of waste these so that my infantry doesn't get hammered. And I am actually going to call in a MiG-23 to try and take that out. And sure enough, his cube's apparently a lot better than mine because he gets a 1-2 tap right again. Thankfully, they actually missed for the Su-22. But for the MiG-23s, they were very, very on point there. So now that our Matschützen is up, we're able to just use our RPGs to be able to destroy his BMP-1s. And you can see we're just slowly gaining ground now, as I also have infantry in these buildings that's moving up, as well as some more Matschützen. We have supplies to back up our damaged infantry. On the right, our T-72 does go down, but now we got the Conquerors up at the front to really cut down this road. We also have recon here, so we can see that it was killed by a T-55, but he won't really be able to advance over the open on me. So T-72M moving up here. It's really going to help deal with these BMP-1s in the back. And moving up my Flamer TO-55s, as well as some little BMP-1 armor here, just to help deal with the Flamer unit there. So let's see, first BMP-1 is going to go down. Second BMP-1 goes down. And now we're just moving some more infantry to better positions. I am moving up my AA with this push, so all these helicopters here aren't going to be a huge issue. Just really need the Strelas to hit. So I'm going to move this guy into the building, start trying to get some hits. These guys both miss. It's really hoping for a hit sometime soon here. As my Kub also missing there. Kub thankfully gets a hit on the cluster, but because of just the sheer amount of planes and helicopters he currently has up, we're going to really struggle to take out all this air. Do take out the SU cluster though. And still fingers crossed on the Strelas. Finally, we get another hit. And there's the downing of the Mi-24D. That is going to force him to bring the other helicopter back. So on the right side, pretty stable. Left side, very stable. And in the middle, gaining ground at a pretty rapid pace. So just bring back some of my hurt infantry to the rear here, just so that I can heal them up with supplies later on. Still has a fair amount of helicopters here, so my infantry is going to be kind of caught out in the open. Going to try and move Estrella to help with that, but as he is kind of coming in range, just going to move that back to the building. Miss both shots there. And there's one hit, and there's two hits. So you can see at 15 points, I believe that helicopter is around 115 to 145, but basically 30 points of Strelas. Took out the Mi-24D earlier, took out another helicopter there. You know, it's at least 200, like 40 points, and we destroyed it with 30 points of AA. So really nice there. Just kind of shows you the value you can achieve. So now we're just trying to find this CV. BMP1 gonna miss on the opposing BMP1. Do get another shot though. Gonna miss again and go down. Mod shoots in here, trying to destroy the transport for his mortars, presumably. And a cluster destroys a T-72M and is going to make it out unscathed. So now I see a bit of a weakness here. So I am going to be just kind of rushing these tanks through, because if I can get a CV to this back zone, I can really start ticking up the points. So just kind of probing to this area, trying to get these T-72s up as far as possible. And that can allow me to move up the CV through that zone once we take out the CV here, which we now have just done. So we see a lot of T-55s here, and that's going to destroy the first T-72M, so just going to hold the next one in more defensive position until we can kind of deal with this wave of tanks. So I just kind of have everything going to this forest area at the moment. I also had some AA moving up. Thankfully, it gets saved by the T-72 there. But his swarm of T-55s is causing a little bit of issues. On this side, he's just moving across some Panzerjäger, but T-72 could have nice vision across the open to be able to take those out. And you can see my problem here. I'm engaging them one tank at a time, just allowing all his T-55s to finish me off instantly. So that's a big issue. So now I have a bunch of T-72s that should be able to counter this nicely. All going to be attacking at the same time. Cluster plane takes out that T-72. Thankfully does go down in combination with the MiG-23ML there. So it is going to allow him to move easier across the open, but now I'm moving up my CV tank in order to stop that. Strela that we snuck around this side does take out another Mi-24P, and you can see him now moving in the CV to the back zone. And we have plenty of tanks to take on his tanks. So no real AA in this area besides the Cube. So that's our only hope for taking out these Mi-8s. But we do obviously have the infantry here, so not a huge deal. We also now have a +6, soon to be, I believe, a +8. So we have fully captured Gulf. So it doesn't really matter too much if we lose this sector. I'm fine just to give it up at this point, as it goes to a +7 as we do lose control of Foxtrot. Still just really trying to deal with these AT planes. Take another one out. MiG-23 going to be retargeted on the AT plane here, which does kill off another T-72. But with the trailing MiG, he's not going to stand a chance. And that's going to be another nice kill there for the MiG-23. So I did move up some supply just to help with these infantry engagements, but based on the map positioning and the kills to losses, Integer is going to surrender. Integer, really great player, currently ranked 15th. But yeah, real fun game of 7th versus 4th. I think we all know which is the better division, but Integer, really great job there. And it was a fun first game against him, as I was kind of on my toes wondering what all was going to be behind my line. And we see my artillery there, just on counter battery, countering the mortars there. We were able to take out 2 of them, so good little solution there just for counter battering mortars. These will take him out over time, but nothing really crazy on the kills to losses. You know, just standard trades, but good trades nonetheless. And Integer did a really good job with his AT planes and his cluster planes. You can see dealing with a lot of T-72s that way, as all his clusters have at least one T-72 kill. And then the Smirch there actually killing the Cube and the supply. Another cluster there with another T-72. So yeah, that was very annoying to deal with, but well played. And we get the win in the end. So hope you guys enjoy that one, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.